Blast, here to get you in the mix. Why not start with a drink first?
This is a tea that you eat, and I shouldn't have done that because now my mouth is full of boba and jelly and stuff.
In this episode, get a look at the healthier twist to Boba Tea. After all, you'll want something to cheers with when you hear this.
There's a general sense of optimism that sort of the worst is behind us.
NRN editors just wrapped their coverage of earnings season.
As Alicia loves to say, it's Christmas for us.
It seems they have some bright news to share.
McDonald's, after a long pause, has decided to start upping its game on unit counts in the US. Chipotle last quarter said they wanted to double to 7,000 units, which is absolutely insane.
Once upon a time, a year ago, that was hard to do because of the supply chain issues.
Plus, let's not forget about the labor issues and the mass shutdown across the industry in 2020. All challenges that gave life to hot trends like ghost kitchens. But now,
the biggest news this week in the digital delivery world is the apparent downfall of MrBeast Burger.
When I had that, it was hardly edible.
Is this the death knell in virtual restaurants?
Those headlines and others on this episode of In the Mix. We begin with a deeper look at the outcomes from earnings. Restaurants appear eager to grow their traffic, and it seems they're looking to do so by expanding their footprint. Last quarter, Chipotle announced it was trying to double its store count to 7,000. That came before a quarter where Burger King announced it was also going after more store openings. And now McDonald's has announced it's trying to grow in the US.
Obviously McDonald's is everywhere, but they're focusing on specific regions. They're targeting the South for their growth right now. We've got brands like Potbelly refranchising stores. I think we're going to see a big bump in franchising.
It's a trend NRN first noted in January, citing a report from Frank Connect. It said about 50% of franchisors say they anticipate double-digit increases in franchise sales in 2023. That sentiment held up against another report released in March by the International Franchise Association, which also projected franchising growth this year, specifically among QSRs. The report noted that operational efficiencies will drive that growth, something that Sam Okus, NRN's editorial director, reiterated during his podcast earlier when discussing earnings.
You can take advantage of real estate that you couldn't before. You have the tools available to make it more efficient. Think about McDonald's. Didn't they just say that less than 10% of their business now is dine-in? When you think about that, okay, well, you don't need a dining room anymore for the most part.
Let's now head to Texas, home to the Texas Restaurant Association show. Texas has gained an average of nearly 413,000 residents between 2020 and 2022, the largest gain in the nation. So restaurants there have been busy. Let's learn more from Alicia Kelso, who's in Houston.
What I can tell you after day one of the show is that spirits are very high. Especially last night at the Lone Star Bash, where the wine was flowing and awards were handed out. There's a general sense of optimism that sort of the worst is behind us. No surprise, some of the takeaways in terms of exhibitors are, technologies that are trying to help operators achieve efficiencies. I'll be sure and whip up some coverage, more detailed coverage from the show, but for now, signing out from Houston, this is Alicia.
The show attracted over 500 exhibitors, including a virtual restaurant conference, which had a lot of crowds. Now, that stands in contrast to some of the headlines we've seen circulating as of late that showcases a struggle in the market right now for ghost kitchens. In June, NRN's Joanna Fantozzi reported the layoffs at NextBite and its then sale to a competitor. Now, another virtual restaurant has found itself in the news, this one involving MrBeast Burger.
MrBeast himself is suing the parent company, Virtual Dining Concepts, over what he names in the lawsuit and what customers have said in reviews as disgusting food. So now Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast, wants out of this contract and he wants to shut down MrBeast Burger for good. There are thousands of these locations. They're kind of everywhere. And they've become an example of what is supposed to be success in the ghost kitchen world. If Jimmy Donaldson wins this lawsuit and MrBeast Burger shuts down, then virtual restaurant companies are going to really have to rethink the way that they run their brands.
And since that report, Virtual Dining Concepts has launched its own lawsuit against MrBeast and his business. It's a legal fight we'll continue to watch on NRN.com. But in the meantime, let's have a drink.
This is an oolong milk tea, and it has the classic brown sugar bubbles. But what makes it really trendy are the pieces, I don't know if you can see them, of aloe jelly in here. And these are texture elements that are really common especially in Southeast Asian desserts, though they originated in Taiwan in this form. And Taiwan is East Asian, not Southeast Asian. Anyway, now boba and popping bubbles, which are filled with something sweet, usually some kind of fruit juice or similar thing, have been introduced at a variety of chain restaurants as limited time offers, including at Dunkin' and Sonic Drive-In.
We finished today's In the Mix with a look at Denny's new educational and career development program called GAIN. The GAIN program includes 4 key areas: GED accreditation, college credits and certifications, life skills, and career pathways for high school students. It comes as America sees an uptick in high school dropouts in states that include Colorado, Michigan, North Carolina, and Illinois. So why is Denny's investing in this?
One of our best senior regional directors has a GED. Yet one of the things that I think about in the restaurant industry is we don't tell that story really well. And this movement and growth for people happens by happenstance in some cases. So we've thought about what happens if we bring intentionality into this process.
The program officially launched in August, but started with a soft launch that saw 80 participants sign up, and so far 2 graduates. So that's a wrap on today's In the Mix. For more coverage on these headlines and others, stick with NRN.com. Till next time, I'm Diana Blass.